Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Lisa Salvatore of lisasalvatore.com. For those of you that know me, welcome back. And for those of you that don't know me, welcome to my channel. I am an intuitive advisor. I specialize in energy readings with tarot and astrology as my main modes of divination, but I also just plain old read energy. So I am going to do these new moon horoscopes or tarot scopes, however you want to call them. I will do them every new moon for the time period of that new moon up until the next full moon. This is the second one that I am doing. So this will be for the time period of September 28th up through October the 13th, and then the full moon will happen on October 15th. So this new moon is a new moon in Libra, and Libra rules over the 7th house in astrology, which is partnership and connection and relationships. So I'm going to gander that most of these readings will likely be centered around that particular area of life. So these messages will likely be in importance for the most closest relationships in your life, partnerships, business, romantic, friendships even can be included in this. So just take from it whatever it is that resonates, and if it doesn't, just leave it. I also want to mention it's really important that if you do know your rising sign and your moon, that not so much your moon, you can listen to your moon if you know your moon, but especially your rising sign. If you do know your rising sign along with your sun sign, please listen to the rising sign as well, because most people will tend to resonate more with the rising sign, as the rising sign is much more intricate, because basically, without getting into too much astrological detail, the rising sign will change position in the sky every 2 to 2.5 minutes. So that means like not every Taurus is going to be a Scorpio rising, it moves. So because the rising sign is a huge part of your outer personality, it is your outer personality. It's the way that your energy is projected out into the universe and received by others. So you want to listen to that sign as well, because it is a very big part of your personality. Anyway, also your moon, because your moon is your heart, it's your emotion. So if you do know your moon sign, go ahead and listen to that also. If you don't know your rising and your moon and you'd like to find them, go to one of the free websites like astro.com or Cafe Astrology. You can actually use their free calculators. You do need the exact time of birth, especially to calculate the ascendant, the rising sign. Ascendant and rising sign is the same term, interchangeable. All right, and you can find me at lisasalvatore.com. I do private consultations as well, and I hope that you find these readings informative. So I'm going to dive right in and start with Aries and go all the way straight through to Pisces. Keep in mind that linked below in the details in the comments, you will see that each sign's time of where it is on this recording for the reading will be shown, so you don't have to listen to every single one unless you want to. So again, linked below, you'll see the time for Aries, time for Taurus, time for Gemini, etc. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And happy new moon. New moons are always a time of new beginnings, which is why I thought it would be a good time to do these readings, just to kind of get a feel for the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So for Aries, I'm going to use my gilded tarot deck. Okay, let's just focus on Aries sun sign, Aries rising, and Aries or Aries moon. What we need to tell you, Aries. Just what you can expect, what the energy is surrounding your sign at this time. As I'm shuffling, I keep hearing abandonment. Like there's a lot of fear centered around your relationships and connections, and when you dig deeper, you'll see that it's really a fear of abandonment that could be holding you back in certain areas. You may want to explore that. Again, this is not just romantic, this is friendships, this is business, this is all kinds of partnerships. Oops. Okay, Aries. One more shuffle. Split that there. Okay. Okay. Aries. So, obviously relationships are at the forefront here. I feel like a lot of your reading here is friendship based, and there's a lot of feminine energy present. So it's like trying to sort through the friendships in your life and looking back to the past to see where things might have gone wrong with a specific friendship. So it feels like for you, Aries, there's two friendships that are of importance here. One of them seems to be somebody from the distant past, and then one is from somebody in the present. And the way that I'm reading this is that they know each other, and it might have caused you a little bit of strife because you've been hearing like one thing about one person and then another thing about the other person. Now, I also feel a masculine energy in here as well. So this could be like a male Aries that's dealing with like a girlfriend and then a woman friend, or two women friends that don't just dislike each other for whatever the reason. Again, you could flip that and it could be a female with two males, but it does seem like it's centered around like more of a friendship base. This one doesn't really feel super romantic to me, although I do feel like there is attraction involved. So this could be part of the issue, like the other person senses that you might have an attraction towards the other one, and meanwhile you're just like not wanting to be bothered with anybody right now because you're like doing your own thing. You're the hermit here. You're on your own path. You're trying to figure things out for yourself. You're more centered on making money. You're more centered on work, Aries, and this is like, you're irritated because you just don't want to deal. And actually, when I said abandonment earlier, this does tie back to that, because the challenge for you is to not run away from this problem, to actually go into it head first and deal with the emotion behind it. Because by you avoiding it, you're only avoiding it because it makes you feel things. And you don't want to right now. You want to just like keep everything very business-like. But in this situation, I don't feel that you can. Like, this does seem to need to be dealt with. And it's two very different personalities. One is more like in your face and feisty, and the other one is more like cold and kind of in your face, but more cold and calculated. So it's like they won't necessarily say what they're feeling, but they'll be passive aggressive about it, or they'll just like, be acting resentful. Whereas the other person is more like, I don't know why you talk to her or him. I don't like it. They're more vocal about it. So I'm going to be honest, I would be more trusting of the vocal person, even if you're irritated by it, because it feels like that's where the honesty is here. The other one who's portraying it like they're not really as angry or upset, they're actually probably more angry and more behind the scenes about it. So you're going to have to tap into your intuition there and feel it out, but don't avoid it. That's the key. Because again, there's this whole theme of abandonment with you right now in your closest relationships and partnerships, where it's like you're almost afraid to face any conflict right now because it makes you feel, and you don't want to. So you're really focused on the past and this present relationship, and I would say don't avoid it. Try to go into it and not have it, because it's really stuck right now. It's annoying. It's like you're feeling very stuck right now, and there does need to be some communication and clarity. And then it's the sun. So yeah, so this is something that you should go through, and honestly deal with it as open-heartedly as you can. Be forthcoming. Don't hide your emotion. Allow this to play out, because it's in your awareness for a reason, right? With Saturn just stationing direct and then Pluto stationing direct, there's something transformative about this for you, Aries, in regards to your most intimate relationships. So don't run away from it. Try to run into it and see where this issue lies, because it's very past life for you. All right. Let me clarify what I said with an oracle deck, just to see if I can get another message for you. And remember, this is not going to make sense for every single Aries out there. So again, if it doesn't, just leave it alone. But if it does, or if it might make sense in the coming days or weeks, so keep that in mind as well. This is kind of like, channeled predictive stuff here. So, all right, Aries, let's see. Let me get a clarifying card. I'm going to use my Moon Oracle deck, which is one of my new favorites. All right, Aries. Oh, I always laugh because these are funny. Hecate. Okay, I'm going to read you the message because it's more impactful. I already know where this is going because I know the mythology of Hecate, which is funny, interesting for this message right here. And they are always going to make sense. So let me find it in the book real fast. Here we go. Okay. So the key phrase for Hecate is live in the present. Hecate was a black goddess. She had a lot to do with money and also wisdom, by the way. Okay, so although a moon goddess, Hecate was considered one of the most important divinities of the underworld. She was powerful in the sky as well as the earth, and in her better moods gave men riches, wisdom, and victory. Earliest references to her described her as the daughter of Nyx, or ancient night, but later she was pronounced the daughter of Zeus and Hera. This card meaning. Hecate has the power to look in 3 directions at the same time. Okay, 3, I said this, right? 3, so funny. When this card is drawn, it suggests that something is locking you into the past, making it difficult to enjoy the present fully and to prepare positively to move on into the future. The past must be reviewed, relived, and then put away for good with the symbolic washing away of its influences. Whatever is discovered as a result will remain hidden to everyone except yourself. Hecate tells you that you cannot change the past, rather you must live in and do what you can in the present. The future will then look after itself. A death and rebirth black goddess, Hecate demands that you put your priorities in order. The systematic nature of Earth and the authoritarian sign of Capricorn seeks to establish order where there is confusion. If the goddess card Hecate is selected, then January will be an important month with regard to the question. Now, obviously, there really isn't a question here because I kind of just did like a general message for Aries Sun, Aries Rising, and Aries Moon. But again, this talks about 3. I mentioned the 3 energy here. This talks about the past and the present and going through the feeling here and facing perhaps like the abandonment issues that this is bringing up for you, Aries, and that as you go through that and you kind of like transform through it, you'll be able to clear it and move forward. And I know I preach a lot about going through like that deep purging of like on the soul level when you feel stuff on such a deep level and you push it away and you push it away and you push it away. I talk about this a lot because obviously I've been there, right? So I'm not just speaking out of my butt. I'm speaking because it's like you know, the more you suppress, and we know this, right? The more you suppress, the more you continue to get the same lesson over and over and over again in the form of different people, different situations, but the lesson will always be there. So this is a recurring theme for you, which is why it's important to honor it and go through it and know that it's going, even if it might be uncomfortable for a little while, it'll advance you forward, and that is what you want, okay? So I hope that this made sense for you, Aries, and happy new moon. All right, just clear my little area here, and let's move on to Taurus. Which deck do I want to use for Taurus? Taurus Sun, Taurus Rising, Taurus Moon people. I'm going to use my Rider-Waite deck, my new one, which I love. I love the back of this deck. It's so cool. Okay. All right, Taurus. The word that comes up first with Taurus is guarded in Taurus. I'm actually laughing as I say that because I was just out to dinner with 2 girlfriends last night and we were having a conversation about this very topic, being guarded. Appearing open yet being guarded. So I feel like a lot of Taurus are doing right now. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we have a lot of karmic cards here by nature for our Taurus people. So we've got the Tower, the High Priestess, the Emperor, Strength, and the Star. So out of 4, 8, 12 cards that I pulled, 5 of them are major. So, okay, I'm reading this right now like as this being the recent past. So a lot of Taurus people have been, they've been presented with Tower moments after a time of indecision. Because this is all about like being a fence sitter and choosing to keep the blindfold on, not seeing things maybe for what they really were in your relationships, partnerships, whichever. Feeling like, almost like you're blocking your happiness in a way by refusing to see something. Okay, Taurus, this is how I'm reading this. And then the Tower moment occurred. Or if it hasn't occurred yet, it's going to very, very soon, because it's like right around in the vicinity here. Meaning, Tower moment, what is that? I mean, if you look at this card, it's like you see the people and they're being struck. The tower's being struck. This is Mars energy. So the tower is being struck by lightning and the people are not expecting it and they're falling out and it's mayhem, right? It's not really pretty looking card. You know, as a tarot reader in the past, people would look at this card and they would shudder and they would hate it. But I actually have to tell you, jumping ahead for a second, the star is at the very end of this reading, okay? The star, which is all about healing and hope and happiness and health. Now, in traditional tarot, now remember I teach tarot as well, so I obviously know the numbers here. The star follows the tower. So after the tower, after you have this like bolt of lightning moment, right? The aha, the epiphany, whether it's positive or negative, and you're rocked for a minute, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't see that for what it really was. At the very end of that, after all the in-between, which we're going to get to, is the star, which is the healing that you've been needing and wanting, right? On a very deep, deep level. But again, you've been so guarded, you haven't been able to express it, see it, feel it, want to see it. Remember, when we don't want to see things, we tend to be blocked. When we're ready to see things, that's when things are revealed to us, right? And again, this is centered around relationships for sure. So, okay, so the Tower moment strikes for you, Taurus. You're thrown off balance, okay? And one thing Taurus does not like more than anything else is to have any kind of a sneak attack, no matter what it is, okay? Whether it's intentional, you know, it doesn't matter. But change, like unexpected change, is not fun for this sign, right? As a fixed earth sign, it's just not. And the Tower is like, you know, poof, you just can't control that. You can't see it coming. But you have the Tower moment, and then there's victory here with the Six of Wands and the Ten of Cups, moving you towards a happier space for yourself. This could be just emotionally, internally, but also like literally like moving you forward, because the Knight of Swords is movement. Feeling like, yes, it's stressful. Yes, you're shouldering some burdens, but knowing there's a freedom attached to it. This is a very mixed bag for Taurus, okay? So there's a lot of sleepless nights here that I'm picking up on. Some of you may be experiencing a lot of back trouble. It seems to be related to your emotional state. So please keep that in mind. I mean, obviously, if you feel like you pulled something, that's a different story. But we're so linked to our emotions are so linked to the physical body. So just know if your back's acting up, that's likely why. And you've been ignoring, this is how I'm reading this, you've been ignoring your intuition, Taurus, which is why the Tower had to happen. Because if you didn't have the Tower moment, or moments, I should say, if there's more than one, because they could still be continuing, you wouldn't have believed, you wouldn't have seen. So it's like getting control of yourself now after being thrown off balance. Like, get over that. You've been thrown off balance. Things are going to have to shift some way for yourself. And you're going to have the strength. Look at these last two cards. I mean, come on. Strength and star. This is beautiful. These are cards you love to see. This is like, Taurus is strong, right? Represented by the bull. Strong minds, strong-willed, very able to heal themselves and resilient. This sign is is known to be one of the more resilient and tough signs of the zodiac, which is why they can appear guarded, but they are actually very soft, okay? And I'm not biased here just because I am Taurus as well, but it is the truth. Appearing on the outside like they have it all together all the time, when in the inside they could be like, not feeling that way. And this Tower definitely contributed to that. But it is going to be, I feel like a lot of this is going to happen after this next full moon, to be honest. The next full moon, which is going to be a full moon in Aries. I feel like there's going to be, I hate to say this, but more Tower moments for this sign, in the form of like, to really just help keep you moving forward and not put you back into the Two of Swords, okay? Because you don't want to sit idle. This is like, you got a lot of movement here. There's a lot of energy, and it's karmic because of all these big cards. It's like, so ask yourself, Taurus, what have I been avoiding in my, relationships, partnerships, friendships, whatever? What have I been avoiding? What do I know to be the truth that I don't want to see? Where am I blindfolded? Because that's where it's going to get the shakeup if it hasn't happened already. And you have the strength to get through this. You absolutely do. And don't be afraid to lean on other people, Taurus. Let me just clarify this with a oracle card. use my Black Moon astrology cards. I feel like I always have to throw astrology decks in here too when I do these readings, just to... This reading kind of feels like a little, I'm not going to lie, a little anxious and icky to me. And whereas Aries felt more like liberating, this one feels like, oof, I get a headache when I'm doing this. I feel like it's not comfortable, but, you know, going through it, but it will get there. All right, Taurus. Let's see what we got for you. Okay. Mercury, the mind. Read what it says out of the book. Lots, you've been in your head a lot, Taurus, and now this tower's coming through, or came through, to get you out of the head and into the body and action. Okay. Mercury, if you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh, otherwise they'll kill you. Mercury, the planet of intelligence and talking, is the closest planet to the sun, also making it the fastest planet to move through the zodiac. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the history of Mercury. Let's see. Okay, Mercury card in brief. Writing, words, being good with words and numbers, counting, the number 7, books, magazines, libraries, reading voraciously, the post office, mail, the internet, telecommunications, software, speech, impromptu speaking, incessant talking, communication, debates. As above, so below, playing pranks, being a trickster, lying when the truth serves you better, remaining elusive, talking while not listening, being hard to pin down, remaining deft and outwitting any opponents. All right, I'm not even going to read all that because I don't care. I'm just going to tell you how I see this, okay? I read better intuitively anyway. Makes more sense. So Mercury is the mind, and Taurus has been in their head a lot lately. And what I feel this is saying is, I keep focusing on this Tower card because anytime this card comes up, it's big. So it's like, because this is all about communication, there's been a communication that has happened that is related to this Tower moment. So either you instigated a communication, or you found something out through a form of communication like email or writing, and your intuition was probably on point the whole entire time. And you could be angry at yourself, right? But get out of your head and just recognize that, you know, you're not perfect. You make mistakes. You don't like change, like the negative parts of you, and that's okay. But the important thing is that, you know, think it through, you'll set it straight, and this will all, you know, it'll be okay. It has to be okay, right? One way or the other, because you're the star at the end of this, Taurus. So I hope that this made sense. I hope that the Tower moments that have shook you or will shake you are not anything too major. By the way, the Tower is also very positive because, it, like I said, once the dust settles with the Tower, it's like the star is right there. So you're able to heal and move beyond it, and it may not even be that dramatic, okay? Hope that made sense for you, Taurus. Happy new moon. Make sure you're real with yourself, since you know. All right. Okay. Let's go over to Gemini. Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, and Gemini Moon, folks. I'm going to use my Sun and Moon Tarot deck for this one. You know, new moon, Sun conjunct Moon. Figured I'd pull this deck out. I have so many decks, so it's always, I always sit there and just try to figure out real quick which ones I want to use, and then just intuitively I grab whichever ones I'm drawn to. So I thought this one would be cool. Okay, Gemini. Gemini, I feel like right away as I'm shuffling, like freedom is the word I want to say. Like there's a lot of, freedom's a big theme in your relationships. Either you feel like you don't have it and you really are craving it, or maybe you have too much of it, or maybe you've been too free and now it's time to settle down. So let's see what the cards want to say here for Gemini. Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, Gemini Moon, folks. Freedom. Keep focusing on that word. Oh, there's the Tower again. Taurus had the Tower. I know what this is about. Yeah. Okay. All right, Gemini. So, you, like Taurus, had an epiphany in the recent past in regards to, I'm reading this as the more intimate relationships in your life, like the really close partnerships, and recognizing like in the ways in which you've operated in those relationships have been like kind of stifling you, and you haven't really felt free. You've kind of felt like, you know, the Ten of Wands here is oppression, so you've kind of felt like you've been oppressed. You've been held back from your passions in a way. So it's led to a sense of like, you know, looking at what you don't have, checking the balance in your relationships, like what you've given up in the sense, in respects to your freedom. It's very important. And with Judgment here, it's like you could have decided or could be deciding like that you're ready to change things up in this relationship to have that freedom, because you've had a lot of anxiety about it with this Nine of Swords here. It's like you're not comfortable. It started off okay, but now you're like, you know what? I want to be myself. I don't feel like myself. I'm not free. I'm not able to express myself the way that I want to. I feel really held back and held down. I feel alone. You know, thinking about the past relationships, and not that you want to go back to the past relationships, but looking at kind of similar to what Aries was experiencing, looking at the past with the Devil here, which is saying like, you know, you're repeating past patterns and trying to get you to move beyond those patterns. Like you're recognizing now there's something about this relationship for you that's limiting your freedom in one way or the other. Now, it could be just your freedom of expression. It could be maybe the way that you dress. It could be, you know, maybe you're with somebody who's extremely possessive and you're like, at first you enjoyed it and now you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. This isn't me. So being true to yourself is the key here. And it's like you're recognizing that if you want to be truly happy and get rid of this anxiety, because I feel like this really big anxiety feeling with Gemini. If you want to, you know, be happy and really get rid of this anxiety, you have to honor the truth here, and face it and just be like, okay, you need some alone time. So let's just be clear about that. You need some alone time. So maybe you need to take a break from this person to get centered and be alone again with yourself. You may even have to go no contact for a little while just to be certain that you're not being influenced in any capacity, because you do love this person. There is a lot of love here. There's a lot of positive feelings here. But at the same time, you've lost some of yourself, Gemini, and that's so not you. And you're recognizing the ways in which this happened. And for some of you, I feel like there could be like a trip that was involved with this, like you were away or the other person was away for a little while, like a couple of days. And while they were away, you truly were able to like get clear on the fact that you were unhappy or feeling stifled. Not unhappy. I'm not going to say unhappy, but feeling stifled, feeling not as free. So it was likely for some of you when this person was away or when you were away. But, you know, I do see you kind of setting the record straight and bringing the relationship to a new level of awareness. Either you could end it. To be honest, you could be deciding like, you know what, I've done my thinking, I've gone within, and I'm recognizing that this is not healthy for me. I'm following a pattern I don't like, and I need to get out of this. Or you could be like, well, I'm following a pattern that I don't like, but let me work with this person to correct it. So only you will know how this applies to you. But the end result here is the Ace of Cups, which is really nice. So this is like, no matter what, you're fine. Like you're good. There's love here. There's good feeling here. I mean, obviously, if you end the relationship, I can't tell you with certainty that it will feel that great. But if you stay in it, I think you'll be able to work around it. But a lot of this is about your own personal stuff, Gemini. So like you recognizing where you've allowed things to be a certain way that you were not comfortable with, okay? I'm going to clarify this with my numerology guidance cards. I love these cards, numerology guidance cards. Even though they're just like numbers and they just have a word on them, when you read the book, when you read the meanings, they just are so symbolic. Okay, so let's see what we get for you, Gemini. Whoop. I'm going to take the jumpers because I feel like that was important. Okay. So we got 41, self-discipline, and number 9, completion. Oh my God, I love that because, you know, 9 is the number of wrap up. So yeah, this is like you self-discipline, taking the time to go within, right? And be reflective about the situation at hand here, this relationship, right? That where you're happy and you're attracted and all that good stuff, but you're like, wait a minute, I just don't feel free, okay? And then you've got completion. So this is like, you're going to figure this out one way or the other and take the relationship either to the next level, which would be like, you know, together or separate, right? But I'm quickly going to read the meanings of these two. So 41, self-discipline. This card indicates a need for self-discipline, motivation, and action to improve your quality of life. By drawing this card, you are being reminded that you need to meet the universe halfway because your dreams won't manifest by themselves. This is a time to clarify your goals and to plan and prioritize your ideas and actions. Then take the mental, emotional, and physical action needed to make your dreams come true. You are being encouraged to rein in any thoughts and emotions that are contrary to what you're trying to attract. Rather than letting your doubts and worries consume you, you must have the strength and willpower to focus predominantly on your dreams. You can attain those goals with a strong, disciplined mind when you surrender the outcome to the divine. Okay, so, you know, focusing on what it is that you want out of the situation, out of the relationship, then communicating that, and then surrendering and seeing where it goes. I think that that's the key for you. And, you know, sometimes things just aren't meant to go beyond, like looking at it from the karmic perspective, sometimes certain relationships are not meant to go beyond a certain point, but we force and we push and we block and we make excuses and we justify and all that other good stuff, right? Not all relationships, some, right? And so when there is relationships that we do that with, it's like the universe will keep coming in with these tower moments and these karmic, like, you know, again and again, these feelings that are just repetitive, where it's like, I don't feel good here. This is like this isn't me. This isn't what I want. And it's only to get you to grow. It's to get you to move forward and not keep accepting less than what you deserve, right? Okay, completion. This card indicates a time of necessary endings and completion in preparation for new beginnings. By drawing this card, you are being encouraged to let go of the old to make way for the new. This may relate to a particular mindset, behavior, friendship, job, residence, or relationship you have outgrown, or it could indicate the completion of a karmic lesson, period of study, or contractual obligation. Either way, this card serves as confirmation that you must move forward with confidence and courage towards bigger and better things. Have no fear of the unknown, for you are being divinely accompanied and guided. This card serves as confirmation that you are definitely on the right path, so surrender yourself to the changes that are occurring and you'll be led to where you need to be. Spend quiet time alone to connect with your inner guidance, for in the silence you will be given the next logical step to take. So again, just confirming about going within, Gemini, and being real about how you feel like you might have been limited in your expression with this relationship. And if you feel that it's workable and that you're not sacrificing, you know, too much of yourself and this is what you want, then by all means, you know what you need to do, right? And if not, sadly, and it needs to be severed, you'll find the strength and the courage to do it and make way for the new, right? All right, Gemini. Happy new moon. I'm going to now move on to Cancer. All right, Cancer. Cancer. I'm going to use my Sun and Moon tarot deck for Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so let's do this. This is for Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising. Cancer. What we got for you? Troubled is the word I'm picking up on with you, Cancer. In your head a lot lately. I think a lot of you have been contemplating. I'll be honest, I read this as a lot of Cancers are contemplating the ending of a cycle in regards to a very important relationship in their life. this is like very troubled and anxious, like knowing that this has been something that hasn't been working for you for a while. You haven't been feeling good in it. I feel like a lot of this is centered around marriage, to be honest. This feels like marriage to me. If not marriage, it's like a very deep, close live-in partnership, which is like a marriage. It could be a friendship or a roommate that's like a marriage, but I personally feel like as I read this and as I feel the energy of this, this is like marital stuff that I'm picking up on for Cancer folks that I've been feeling for a long time that, like, you know, not very happy. They've been feeling stuck. They've been feeling not at ease or peace. They've been waiting for like some big divine sign to come down and say, now is the time to speak your piece and move on. You know, Cancer is a water sign, very sensitive and emotional and moody. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. And, you know, they have really high highs and really low lows. And so what happens is within relationships is it's like you can convince yourself that when you're in a good mood, you're like, oh, everything's good, everything's cool. But yet you know deep down in your belly, in your gut, that it's not. But you're like, okay, I'm able to just push past this and keep things in balance and keep the ship afloat. Because I do feel like in the situation, in the situations that I'm reading on here, there are children involved, okay? And so sometimes it's easier to just keep things as they are, but, you know, basically ignoring your soul, ignoring what you're feeling by saying, okay, well, today was a good day, so this is going to work, this is good. But yeah, then like a week later or 2 weeks later, something comes up again and you're like, damn, this is exactly, like, I can't stop what I feel, you know, feeling this is like, you know, it's not fun, I'm not feeling good here. I mean, yes, I'm okay, I'm comfortable, I have what I need and what I want, but I'm not really feeling the love. Like, that's what this is all about. And then accepting and knowing, Cancer, that it is okay to want to feel that love and that doesn't make you weak, and that there are no mistakes, right? Keep that in mind. Some things, like the world here, could be, you know, things have to end sometimes. Cycles complete. The world closes out cycles. And the Six of Swords right next to it, it's all about moving forward. It's all about moving forward to calmer waters. So this is like one way or the other. And then completion, the Four of Wands, which is my marriage card here. So it's, and then you getting to your center, being you, being who you are, male or female, it doesn't matter. This could be a Cancer man or a Cancer woman. But then feeling like by doing that, you're being true to yourself. You're honoring your heart, your soul. You're trusting your inner compass, your inner guidance. There's nothing wrong with making something work because you feel like that's the right thing to do. But what I'm going to say is, if you're truly feeling that this is done for you, Cancer, it's time to move forward. It's time to start the process. You know, you've done what you can do at this point. I guess if you feel there's something more you could do to shake things up or change it up, go for it. But it feels to me like a lot of you are moving in that direction of like, okay, time to move on, or this as it is closing out. So anyway, endings seem to be prominent, moving on to smoother waters. Let me just get like 2 or 3 more cards here. Wow, okay, and passion coming back into your life and feeling like there's fertility here, not like literal like pregnancy, but like fertility, like birthing something new by going through this experience, like for everything that dies, something new is reborn. That's what I'm hearing. And feeling like just happy and independent, and then getting angry at yourself by what you've missed out on, let's just say. But don't go there, Cancer. Don't go into like what you've missed out on. Focus on the positive, focus on the future, regain control, do what you need to do, put things in order, get your ducks in a row. I just heard that literally. Get your ducks in a row where you need to. You know what you have to do. It's time. This is what I'm hearing. It's time. Okay, let me confirm this with a spirit message. I feel like you guys have this is a really deep reading so far of the ones I've done. This is like very, very intense, Cancer. So, but good. There's good change coming if you honor the calling of, you know, your soul, which is not always easy to do, right? But is necessary. Okay. All right. Okay. Look at that. Support. People come into your life for many different reasons. Some you learn from and then they move on, while others return often because you need to learn more from those individuals. Others remain beside you throughout your entire life. Wow, that's really nice. I feel like for you, Cancer, this is like letting you know that you have support both in this world and then in the spirit world. There are people feel a lot of maternal energy here as well. So there might be quite a few of you that have been missing your moms lately, your moms in spirit. They're around you, they're supporting you, they're guiding you, they're trying to give you messages to let you know that they're there, that they're reaching out to try to help you. And not, aside from the spirit world, you have support in this world, on this plane. There's plenty of friends that are around you that you can lean on and rely on. You don't have to go it alone. You don't have to pretend it's all perfect. You can let people in. It's just kind of similar to what I said to Taurus. You can let people in and let them see your soft spot. Let them see your vulnerabilities. It's actually going to help you. And honor where you're at right now, because you're going to be okay. This actually feels, even though there's like a sense of a little bit of sadness here, but it's or regret, like having to move forward, but there's peace attached to it. So just keep that in mind, okay, Cancer? I hope that helped you. Again, if none of that resonates with you, ignore it. Obviously, this isn't going to resonate with every single Cancer person that's listening. Okay, I'm going to move on to Leo now. Okay, Leo. I'm going to use my Gilded Tarot for Leo. Okay, this is for Leo Sun, Leo Moon, and Leo Rising. I'm just hearing like go easy on yourself for Leo. A lot of mental activity, a lot of like beating yourself up, coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's like looking at all the negatives right now instead of focusing on some of the positives. Okay. All right. Okay. So as I said earlier in the recording, that because of the fact that of the energy, the way that it is right now, a lot of these readings are going to be centered around, in fact, I think all of them have so far, are going to be centered around the closest relationships in our lives, right? Like partnerships, marriages, could be business partnerships, friendships. So take wherever it goes for you and wherever it applies. You know where it applies for you. And if not, just ignore it. But, okay. So this is how I see this. This is like, kind of like Aries, a 2-in-1 situation. So there could be like some Leos that are between two people or trying to decide between two pathways, two different roads to go down right now. Choices are here. Judgment, there's some big cards here too. So this is like, you've got Judgment, you've got the Fool, you've got the Magician, you've got the Lovers, you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Again, major cards here for Leo. So this is like karmic by nature. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that you may not, maybe you feel it like it's divinely guided or whatnot, but you're not sure where to go with it. But it's almost like you've been having some hard truths kind of put in your face. Perhaps about like things you've been ignoring or suppressing or being very guarded and not wanting to see or feel, but it's like, you know, all that's out the window now because you're primed for like new beginnings. You want things to change. You want to take control. You're really in your head again. I keep seeing that. Like there's a lot centered around like working really hard to either you're working really hard to ignore issues or you're working really hard to move beyond issues, I would say, which I guess, you know, that's the pathway here with the Lovers. There's choices to be made. Definitely in your head because you're the 8 of Swords at the end of this. This is like going around and around and around. Like, should have done this, could have done that. Let me do this. You know, did I lose my chances or opportunities for betterment for myself, for my relationships? But the key is not to ruminate on what you feel like you might have lost. This is how I'm seeing this. It's like, also too, another thing here is there's something, I'm focusing like on the spider in this card. I don't know if you can see that. But this is like being hard at work, like putting your head down and trying to get stuff done. And then above you, there's like, you know, spiders to me are always like, yes, they're positive in a way, but they also can be deceptive, like they spin webs. So to me, it's like this could either be you that's doing that or someone doing this to you, and you're like kind of not aware of it, I would say, or maybe you are aware of it on the subconscious but not on the conscious level. But it does feel like you're being woken up. Like there's things that, you know, there's things that you're seeing more clearly, and you're ready to move forward, take some action, and like manifest what you want for yourself, whatever that is. Movement here. Like it's like, and that's the other thing too, is I feel like you know, Leos are active and they're bold, right? They're ruled by fire, you know, they're fire signs ruled by the sun. So there's like, you know, that action, that impulsiveness, that wanting to do things, push forward. But then it's like you're the King of Pentacles, who's like, you know, stopping yourself because you want to make practical choices, and you want to make sure that you know, you're grounded in your choices here, which makes sense, right? You don't want to just be, which is actually kind of good. I'm glad to see that, because a lot of times fire signs just rush in and do things stupidly, and then they, I shouldn't say stupidly, but rush in and they do things that are like counterintuitive to what they really are feeling, because they're not thinking it through. So this shows you really thinking things through, and then the wheel turning, giving you some opportunities to make changes. But you got to get out of your head. This is important. This is like, stop obsessing over where you feel trapped or stuck or limited, and start recognizing like the chances that you can take, because they're here. You have so much strength. Like this is another really strong sign with a lot of, you know, courage. So it's like tapping into that reserve and making things happen for yourself. And again, you know, this feels like in the area, this could be work as well, but it feels more like it's in the area of partnership. And either you need to be having more compassion in your relationships, or you feel like that, like the other person or people are not being compassionate towards you. That could also be it. So it's one way or the other, but either way, there's something about compassion that's coming up here, like either needing to have it or develop it, or having it shown towards you. And this is kind of leading you into realizations of what it is that you want, or what it is that might need to change, right? Let me just pull a few more cards. Oh my God, the sun, the moon. It's so funny. So the sun and the moon are like obviously the opposites, the polarities, right? And you're ruled by the sun, Leo. That's your ruling, you know, that's your rulership. And then the moon is our subconscious. So I feel like a lot of you have also been getting dreams, like a lot of information in your dreams. And I don't know if you remember them or not, but there's symbols in there. It could be coming through animals. But you're not getting it so much when you're awake, because you're so focused on the practicality of your situation. So it's going to happen more when you're asleep, and then that will help you kind of like to take some action, or to figure out a creative way of handling whatever it is that you're going through right now. But one thing is for certain, there is like, you know, changes here, but you have to definitely, I would say, move it along somehow and get out of your head. That's important. Okay. I'm going to just clarify this with a card from my Moon Oracle deck. I'll read you the message. I'm sorry about the sun shining on the cards. I just probably shouldn't have done this at this time of day. All right, Leo. Again, this is not going to resonate with every single Leo on the planet, so if it doesn't, just ignore it. And make sure you listen to your rising sign and your moon sign as well, because you may resonate with those more, like I said before. Or you may resonate with all three. Okay. All right. Gaia. Let's just read what this is. Okay. So the key phrase for this is to look for the Achilles heel. Drawing the goddess Gaia reveals that you will go to extremes to protect that which is precious to you. This shows that something you have produced is unacceptable to others, and you may have to take drastic steps in order to protect that which you have created. Eventually, out of the extreme nature of your response will come some good. Gaia is the last of the red goddesses, and in her sustaining role seeks to see both sides of a situation before taking emphatic action. The nature of air in Libra is to weigh the pros and cons of each situation in order to be sure that the eventual decision made is the correct one. If the Gaia card is selected, October will be an important month with regard to the question. All right, again, so this is like weighing out choices, being fair, being impartial, seeing, you know, the truth through the fog, I guess you could say, getting out of your head. But I'll be honest, like I don't really see like tremendous action here for you guys. I see, and gals, I should say, I see like more like thinking about it, like really focusing and getting ahead by just like acknowledging and focusing and I said getting out of your head, but obviously you're still in your head because you're thinking about it, but it's like your thinking is more advanced in regards to the situation, if that makes sense. Okay. I hope that made sense for you. And happy new moon. I'm going to move on to Virgo. All right, for Virgo, I'm going to use my Arcanum Tarot deck. For Virgo, I'm hearing the word peace. So I don't know if that's like you needing to find some peace in your life, or you needing to have peace, give peace, or make a truce or whatever. But that word is important. Peace. Peaceful. Okay, let's see. All right, Virgo. I feel like, again, hold on. I feel like a lot of Virgos are there's some challenges here, because you have 3 5s, which are all about like challenge and conflicts. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands. I don't know if you could see these because of the sun, but I'll take them out. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, and the 5 of Cups, which is like, 5 of Cups is challenges emotionally, 5 of Pentacles is challenges financially, and then 5 of Wands is challenges with acting and feeling stuck and repressed somehow, but not happy. You're definitely feeling like you're down and out. We've got the 2 10s here, which is like the world on your shoulders. Numbers are very significant when you do readings, especially when they're repetitive. And if you know, and I don't know if you can see because of the sun, we've got 3 5s here, then you've got 2 10s and 2 9s. So there's completion. There's things coming to a close. This is like battle of the head and the heart here for Virgo. Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising. A battle between the head and the heart. Feeling like you're getting the short end of the stick somehow, and you want to move beyond that. You want to move ahead. You want clarity, and you want peace. That's what I mean, the peace. That's why that word keeps coming up, because you're seeking peace. You're seeking what's going to give you this 9 of Cups, 6 of Wands feeling, like that feeling of happiness and victory and, pushing forward. And it's, again, this is going to come through honoring your intuition. That's the best way I can say it. I feel like a lot of Virgos right now are getting intuitive impressions, feelings like their gut is telling them what to do, and they're not doing it because they're juggling. I feel like a lot of Virgos are juggling with money. I'm really feeling that strongly with financial, not trouble per se, but like a feeling of like they can't start something in their life until their financial situation is straightened out. There's confusion surrounding it. Maybe bad investments or debt or spending too much money. I'm not sure. But it's affected relationships. It's also affected your ability to balance and push forward and have some peace. So maybe it's caused fights within your relationships, but there's clarity that's coming here. There's clarity that's coming, and financial resolution. So yeah, so the finances are going to get in order, but it's like feeling, again, I'm focusing, you're feeling like the hanged man, feeling stuck. Like you can't push forward right now for some reason, and it feels like it might be financially based. Okay, so I would say for Virgo, in order for you to find your peace here within your relationship, or relationships, I should say, because this could also be in relation to a business partnership, but it's partnership nonetheless. In order to find the peace that you want or are seeking within the partnership, you have to correct something financial. It could be yours, it could be someone else's, but it's about like bad investments or debt. I don't know. This is just, again, this isn't going to apply to every single Virgo out there, but this is what I'm feeling. It's about getting it straight, getting it together, and then that's when the clarity comes in, and then that's when you're able to have whatever it is, this happy new beginning that you're looking for will come in. Let me just clarify this with a card. Let me take out, let me use my Moon Oracle. No, I'm going to use not my Moon Oracle, my Black Moon astrology card, sorry. Let's see what we get here to clarify this message So far, every other reading has basically been about love and relationships, and this one I feel like might be more centered financial, but also kind of like dovetails into the relationships, partnerships. Okay. And again, apply it where you know it goes for your life. If it does, and if it doesn't, just leave it alone. All right. Okay. So the fire element, desire. Let me just read what the meaning of this is. So I feel like this is basically saying, like, in order to have what it is that you desire, and only you know that by going in, right, trusting your gut, you have to clear up these issues or it's not going to happen. So it's like trusting, and I feel like you know this. I'm not saying anything you don't know. Okay. Passion, though a bad regulator, is a powerful spring. There are changes coming, new movement. Look for them to be quick. The element of fire in astrology is all about beginnings, our passions, and how fast we get our energy moving. It speaks to how rapidly we react and how long it takes us to accomplish what we set out to do. Fire is burning determination. Fire scorches away impurities, clearing a landscape for new growth and leaving an area healthier and stronger. The sign of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius fall under the influence of fire. When the fire element card is involved, expect changes to be dramatic in an unforgettable way. A situation is about to be transformed through a wake-up call or a personal epiphany. The element of fire is spirit moving and a great indicator of creativity, so now is the time to apply your energy wholeheartedly. Step into this path and find your way. Look at your issue from another perspective and try a unique approach. The fire element card also denotes honesty and suggests you act assertively. You are about to get up front with someone or vice versa, at least you should, and this card says to push it. In any event, you will soon understand where you stand as all of your cards will be put on the table. Then you can expect less mystery. Watch out for bossy people when this card comes up. It can indicate a type of bulldozing that will be hard to deal with. Others may claim they are speaking to you from a place of truth and concern, whereas they may not understand the situation very well and not offer the best advice. Also, be careful of others attempting to take over and claiming as theirs what you have created or started. This card can imply the ego going out of control, but it's important to keep yours in check as well. Since you are now thinking in larger terms, details won't seem to matter as much, but it's important to get everything nailed down. You may be tempted to fly by the seat of your pants and rely upon spontaneity. This is not a bad idea. The fire element card says you have good instincts at the moment and will be able to carry it off as long as you are also grounded. As I said with the High Priestess here, this is again just confirming that this is like trusting your intuition here because you'll know. Change is upon you though, one way or the other. Like things need to change in order to have this growth here. So it's like a new start, a change in direction, typically dramatic by nature because fire is dramatic, right? This could be you instigating the drama, let's just say, or this could be another person in your life doing that for you. Sorry, I need some water. But either way, things are changing. All right, Virgo. I hope that made sense for you. Again, these are general readings for, any Virgo folks that are listening. So they're not going to ring true for everybody. And this also might be somewhat more predictive in nature for you. So it could be something that comes up in the next couple of weeks. All right, moving on to Libra. This is your season, Libra. All right, and this is your moon, Libra new moon. So I'm going to use my Rider-Waite deck. Let me talk about for Libra. I feel like a lot of single Libras out there. I need to say that love is coming in. I feel like there's going to be a lot of offers actually for you in the next couple of weeks. Parties and things like that. Meeting people through friends. Seems like fun times for Libra. Libra sun, Libra moon, Libra rising. Ooh. Yeah, new beginnings. That's interesting. So yeah, so a lot of Libra folks, Libra sun, moon, and rising, seem to have been coming off of some disappointment in the love department in relationships, feeling like thinking that something was going to work out a certain way, and then it didn't. And but that's behind you. So by the way, this is how I'm reading. That's behind you. So it's not anything to be concerned with now. It does feel like things are coming into balance right now for you. I do see like meeting people, like I said earlier, at parties and things like that, having some options, like two different sides of the spectrum too. Like you could be meeting, you know, Libra males could meet a female or male, whichever, that is like extremely intellectual, but doesn't really show emotion. And then the other person they meet could be like, wears their heart on their sleeve and extremely passionate. So you're kind of torn with which person you want to move towards. And I feel like there's the name of the game here is like as partnerships. This isn't like you want to be dating around. You want to find like that after your past disappointments. You're looking for like that fit, like that person. And so I see you choosing and making some decisions and doing some soul searching to see like what it is. And in fact, you might have done this already, like putting it down on paper. Like these are the qualities that I want in a partner. The law of attraction really does work. So you know, I'm sure a lot of you know that. So you could have been like, you know, for this new moon, actually, you could do a manifestation list about what you want in a partner. This is for the single Libras out there that are looking for, you know, love and have come out of a relationship in the recent past that they were disappointed. Now they're looking for something real. They want something truthful, something real, something honest. Who doesn't, right? But right now for this sign, that's more of the theming and the message. I will say this too. I feel like a lot of you Libras, there will be somebody coming back from the past, someone that you kind of like put behind you, but it feels like you have unfinished business with them. So this could actually be romantic, or it could be a friend, but I feel like it could, you know, definitely be romantic as well, more so likely, where they come back in and it's like to close out something or to have like one last go around to see if there's really something there or not. But you may actually choose to go with a new person because it feels like there's choosing. I see two. It's funny too because as I say, I see two, right? Libra is represented by the Justice card, which came out in your reading, and the Justice card is the scales of balance, and so two, and Libra is the sign of partnership. So this is like, it's pretty interesting how this all comes out, like choosing between two, you know. Oh, look at that. This is really nice. Oh, Libra, you're gonna have like really, this is probably the most positive reading I've done so far. Really feeling good about yourself, like you're getting really positive offers, you're having a good time. The message for you is to try to let go a little bit and don't be so guarded, which I kind of said, I think I said the same thing to Taurus. Don't be so guarded. Weigh out all your options and be truthful with yourself. Like, what is it that you want, you know, and don't be hesitant to cut off something or someone if it's not what you want. Because you've worked really hard to get to where you are right now. You've uncovered a lot of truths about your emotional awareness, let's just say, about the way you show up in relationships and about the ways in which you've maybe accepted less than what you deserve and where you've gotten stuck in the past, and you're ready. You're like, this is great. The choices. The Lovers is all about choice, and you have choices coming up. Wow. All I'm going to say is a lot of you Libras are definitely going to be having some fun because this Ace of Wands, and you look at it, it's very phallic. This is passion. Wands are all about like action and fire and hot and passion, and the moon is like really nice. There's some nice times ahead for Libras. Change is coming up. Yeah, and partnership. So I would say, like, for you guys, Libra, this is a really nice time for new relationships, new partnerships. Again, if you're attached and this doesn't apply to you, then take it for, like, it could be a business endeavor that's coming through for you. But somehow, whatever it is, it's very, very positive. This is probably the best reading I've done so far. I wonder, maybe this is because it's Libra season. I'm not sure. Oh, I didn't. Let me confirm with a, I'm going to use my romance angel cards because this one feels very romantic to me, this reading. So let's see what we get here for you, Libra. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Yeah, so this is just a sign of good things to come. Like, you're feeling on top of your game. So get out there. You know, Libra is ruled by Venus, right? Venus is the planet of goddess, I should say, of attraction and love and beauty. So beautify yourself, you know, put on your best shoes or whatever, your lipstick if you're a woman, or man if you wear lipstick, whatever, and just get yourself out there and shine because this is your time. You're going to be drawing in a lot of attention and you're going to have options. It's really nice, Libra. Happy new moon. Happy birthday to the Libras out there. All right. Moving along to Scorpios. Scorpio. Which deck do I want to use for our Scorpios? I'm just going to use the same, the Rider-Waite. Scorpio. Loyalty is the word I'm hearing right now for Scorpio. Loyalty. A lot centered around loyalty in this time frame of the new moon to the full moon, where you're questioning like the loyalty of others towards you, and then also you could be even like questioning your loyalty to others. Let's just say, with loyalty, you know, Scorpios. I have to say, I'm a little biased with Scorpios. I love, like, 3 of my closest friends are Scorpios. And another one of my bestest friends has a lot of Scorpio in her chart. I tend to just really love that energy because they're diehard. They're so loyal. If they're loyal to you, they're loyal to you, right? And so that's why maybe that's coming up. But I feel like the sense of just the loyalty factor with Scorpio. Like, who's loyal to me? Am I loyal? There's a lot of questioning about loyalty. All right, let's see what the cards say. Okay, Scorpio you're severing some stuff here. You're severing some connections, definitely. You are questioning, like I said, the loyalty of others, especially a romantic prospect. If you're single, a romantic prospect. So somebody that you might be talking to or dating or whatever, if you're on an app or something, like they're saying one thing, and you know, Scorpio is known to be like very investigative. They're like the cosmic detectives of the zodiac. So you're like, this person's telling you one thing and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't jiving. I don't feel that this is right. You know, Scorpio is a very intuitive sign as well, right? They're water signs. So you're feeling like it's off and you've done a little research and now you're like, wait a minute, you lied, out. So if someone's lying, or just not being truthful, let's just say, lying by omission, for you, that's like, no, because the loyalty's not there. So you're going to weed that out. Looking for, you want that loyal connection. And you also, Scorpio, this is for friendships as well. This is like, this could be going on in a friendship in your life where you're like, wait a minute, you said this, and then you turned around and you did that, or you told somebody my business, I'm done. Because again, death card. This is, by the way, this is funny. Everybody's major. So Scorpio is ruled by the death card, which is all about transformation and rebirth. So you're cleaning house, Scorpio, and it's all because of loyalty. It's all centered around loyalty. Like, you're like, I'm not taking this crap from anybody. I know my addictive behaviors and patterns, and I'm looking to correct that and move forward in my life. This is what I'm feeling for Scorpio. And then it's like, here comes in a person who's testing, which the universe does for a reason, right? They bring in people to test us so that to see how much we've learned or grown. And that's where you're at. And you're like, you know what? Not doing this. I'm weeding you out. I'm hardening my armor. This is for, you know, Scorpio, male and female. I'm hardening my armor and I'm closing down, because if you screw me over once, that's it. I'm not gonna put up with it. I'm not honoring that anymore. I'm healing. I'm moving forward. I want truth. I want loyalty. I give loyalty, and that is what I want. This is what I'm feeling for Scorpio. So there's a lot of questioning around loyalty, and then severing 1 or 2 ties based upon your findings. Let's just say. Okay, let me confirm this with a numerology guidance card for Scorpio. Oh, that one wanted to come out. I'm sorry, I laugh all the time because it cracks me up how literal, when the cards want to come out, they'll literally jump out. Like, stop shuffling, I'm done. Relationship change, number 56. I'll read it to you out of the book, even though it's kind of self-explanatory there. Okay. This card indicates a time when a relationship in your life is going through a period of change. This adjustment is inevitable and necessary for the natural progression of the relationship, and the wisdom and experience gained will be of great benefit to all involved. Whether a child is leaving home, a partnership, friendship has ended, or a loved one, friend, work, colleague, or neighbor is going through a change, know that you and the other person are divinely guided and protected and have the strength to carry on. This card can also indicate a positive relationship change, such as a declaration of commitment, for example, a wedding or engagement. It can also indicate the resolution of an ongoing problem or dispute. The affirmation for this card is, my relationships grow and evolve for the greater good of all. Wow, okay, so like Cancer, I also, in the Cancer reading, I said that I did feel like, sorry to say this, but I did feel like the severing of important relationships, possibly even divorce. I kind of get that here as well, by the way, because a lot of times the death card does represent like what's death. It's permanent, so it represents the death of something. And because we're talking about relationships, like the lack of loyalty in one or two relationships, romantic or friendship, could be leading to the severing of that relationship changes. But this is saying, trust it, you're on the right path, even if it hurts you temporarily, to keep moving forward, because this is divinely guided and this is about learning your lessons from the past, because the devil's very karmic. Okay, Sagittarius, I'm going to use my Sun and Moon tarot deck for you for this new moon to full moon reading. Let's see what we get for you guys. So this reading is going to be for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the next, for September 28th, which is the new moon in Libra, straight up through the full moon in Aries, which will be on October 15th. But this is going to be the energy from September 28th through the 13th of October, because that's just what I'm feeling. All right, Sagittarius. So let's see what we've got for you. So, as I said in the beginning, a lot of these readings are focused around relationships, because this is Libra and partnership time, and that's just the way that the energy and the astrology is right now, so it's not surprising that most of these readings are going to be that way. And so for you, Sagittarius, I feel like there's been some changes in your personal life with your relationship, in regards to your relationships. You've likely uncovered some trickery, let's just say, or manipulation that was either done from somebody towards you, or you could be the one doing it towards another, and it's caused some distress, and it's caused you some confusion, and you're definitely trying to take back control and put it back to a place that is workable for you in the heart space, because you're not feeling really good about it. This could be, honestly, this doesn't feel like it's another person. This actually feels like it's you. So it kind of feels like you're having a little bit of an internal struggle about something you said or did that wasn't in your highest good, and you're aware of that. It's not your character. It could have even been a little bit deceitful, but not intended to be, but it happened, okay? And fire signs can be impulsive, so this could just be something that you just didn't think through, and it's very unlike you, and now you're like, shoot, I need to get back control here. I don't know what to do. So this could require you speaking your truth to another person, like admitting that you did something wrong that you're not proud of. It could disrupt the relationship in a way, because it's like they're not going to like it. It's kind of, I keep feeling like it's a little bit deceptive, but not terrible. Like, it doesn't feel like an affair or anything like that. I mean, it certainly could be, but it feels more like just like you went about something in a specific way to get what you needed out of the situation, and now you're feeling guilty about it, and you're trying to take back control and figure out how to handle it, if you should say something or just leave it alone, because you're afraid to ruin the current equilibrium of the relationship, let's just say, or the situation, by saying something. But I actually feel like by you speaking up, and this is more about you, okay? Because here we have the Three of Wands, the Virtue card, which is like, this is more about you doing this to clear yourself of some kind of like negative karma, let's just say, because you've done something out of character, you're not happy about it, and it's eating you up. And so this is like, by you speaking up and just saying, hey, look, I did this. I told somebody, oh, I got it. This is like you told somebody something about somebody else, okay, that you shouldn't have. It could be in a friend group, it could be a relationship, but you're feeling guilty about it because you were asked not to repeat it and you did. This is what I feel. So, meanwhile, it's like, by setting the record straight and just bringing it up and saying, I'm really sorry, but I said X, Y, and Z, I do feel like there might be a little bit of distance for a couple of days or weeks, but it will be fine. The friendship or the relationship will get back intact. The other person will be a little bit upset with you temporarily, but you will work it out. So this is actually good. It's actually for your greater good. you know, spiritually speaking, to speak up, because this is going to clear you somehow. Like, it's just, you know, you're having a really tough time digesting it, Sagittarius. So I would say just be honest, be forward, right? Honesty is the best policy. This doesn't look destructive or too disruptive. It's just about you being truthful. And again, it's more for yourself. Oh, let me clarify this with the card from Spirit, with a Spirit message. Clarify the Spirit message for you, Sagittarius. Stand your ground. Standing your ground is an empowering, confidence-building action to take from time to time. Now is the moment when you need to stand your ground. You know you can do it, and you know that by doing so, you will be the victor. Wow. So yeah, that's pretty literal. This is confirming. Speak up, stand your ground. Be truthful and be honest, and you'll come out ahead. It might be a little temporary discomfort, but it's going to be for the greater good. So don't be afraid to speak up, okay? Happy new moon, Sagittarius. Moving along to Capricorn. Capricorn. I'm going to use my Gilded Tarot deck. Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, Capricorn Rising have been having a hard time expressing themselves lately, more so than normal. Like it's kind of like, you know, there's a lot going on inside. It's like a volcano, but you're just not quite there yet. I'm not sure how to express, but the cards don't want to shuffle. Capricorn. This reading is for the new moon, for Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, Capricorn. Juggling between relationships and work. Having a hard time. Okay. Yeah. So okay. A lot of you Capricorns have been struggling to find balance in between the home life and the work life, and it's becoming an issue for both you and for the other person. And again, if you're not involved in a relationship or a marriage, it could be a friendship, it could be a family member, but it feels like there's a balance here. You work a lot, it feels like. Maybe you work an overnight shift or something, but it's like your work schedule is causing an imbalance in the home life. That's how I see this, in your personal life, let's just say. And you want to change it, you do, but you don't want to change it at the same time because it would force you to face your feelings on a deeper level, and so you can kind of keep the situation controlled by working a lot. This is how I'm getting this, okay? So I'm sorry if I sound cuckoo, but this is how I'm getting this message. So it's like you want the depth of the connections in your life. You do, you really do, on a very deep level. But you're almost like afraid of it, which I think Aries got the same message. There's a fear here attached to it, but it is what you want. So you're definitely struggling because one side of you saying like, oh my gosh, I don't really need to work this much, but I don't really need to take that extra shift, or I don't really need to work so many hours, but it's keeping me centered. It's keeping, when you think about this, it keeps you centered. It keeps you away from the emotional intensity of this connection in your life, or connections, when in reality you do want to connect. You're just afraid to. So it's like you're blocking it by working so much. So if you actually pull the layer of that onion back and look at the fact that, why am I working so much if I don't need to? If you need to, that's a different story, but you'll know how this applies to you. But this is about going into the heart center for you, Capricorn, and recognizing the ways in which you could be limiting yourself in your connections, or not showing up and being truthful, or not expressing yourself, or like, are you cutting people off when they try to express themselves to you? That's another way to look at this. But again, the balance between the home life and the work life is important here. And there's something about expressing your feelings to those closest to you that's really, really, yeah, like it's time to do that. It's like you're afraid to do it. You're afraid to express yourself because you're afraid it's going to lead to this Ten of Swords, like the stabbing of the back. When in reality, you know, it's you gotta just trust that you can give up a little bit of control and speak your mind, and you'll have this beautiful Ace of Cups, which is beautiful growth and love and new opportunities, and it'll help rid you of anxiety, and it'll bring you that closeness and that connection that you're craving. But you have to strike that balance and look at why are you avoiding the connection that you're craving, okay? Let me just clarify that, Capricorn, with my romance angel deck, because yours feels like you're, you know, there's some signs that go running towards it, and you feel like you're running away from it, but you don't really want to you don't really want to run away from it. It's just that there's a fear here. There's fear. Okay. I feel like I'm giving you a therapy session here. I didn't mean to do that. It's just you want the connection. You're just having a hard time moving towards it, expressing it. Okay. Passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So yeah, so this is just confirming to express, be truthful, be honest, let go of control, right? Don't always feel like you have to be in control of the order of the way that this goes. You can just don't have a plan. Just, you know, I love Capricorn energy because they're so practical and grounded, and they, you know, they will express themselves, but they have to feel totally safe, and it has to be on their terms. And this is like, you know, screw that. Just open your mouth and let it fly. Just, you know, be truthful, connect. Because that's what you really want underneath it all, right? All right, Capricorn. I hope that made sense for you. Okay. We are moving on to Aquarius. And I'm going to use my Arcanum Tarot deck for Aquarius. This is for Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising. Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising for the new moon up until the full moon, which is September 28th through October. The 15th is the full moon, but this is actually going to be up until October 13th. Okay, Aquarius. Let's see what we've got for you. So as I'm doing this, I'm getting like a lot, like for some Aquarius folks with shoulder issues. There's something about the shoulders. Like this could be like maybe you just feel like there's a lot on your shoulders, or your actual shoulder could be hurting you, but it feels like some of you are having issues with your shoulder or shoulders, but it feels like more shoulder, singular. All right. Similar to Capricorn here, there's lots of work taking place, like putting things in order. But I like to see this because the happy family and the relationship and the visionary, all that stuff is here. So this is like, I feel like this is more a personal message for Aquarius, not so much centered around their relationships, but this is more about you and opening up your heart a little bit and going deep to the past. I feel like a lot of you have been doing this lately, like looking to your childhoods, looking to your earliest relationships, looking to the way you give and receive love and the people that you've drawn in your life in the form of friendships as well, to help balance you out and open up your emotions. And that knowing that it's okay to open up your emotions, this is a big theme here. Like, it's not always been the easiest for you to do because you are a very strong person that likes to remain in control. And when you're going through changes, transitional changes in your life, you tend to go it alone. But you're learning that you do need to open up. Similar to Capricorn, like in order to connect, and true freedom comes in the way of opening up to others. And you've definitely had a time of pulling back and resting and figuring this out, probably because of some life changes that were happening. So some of you could have gone through like a relationship ending or a literal death of someone close to you, or death of a relationship, just a complete change in your life. And it forced you to go within and start digging, right? Like digging. Aquarius doesn't normally like to do that because you're an air sign. You're very logical. You like to focus on productivity and results more so than like all the emotional fluff in between. But you've been recognizing the ways in which you're limiting yourself by doing that. And that the true authentic connections, yeah, here's the Six of Cups, are going to come in through letting go a little bit and not keeping a distance, but more about like bridging the gap so that you don't feel alone and stuck in times of need, because that's key. Because you can't act that way, and then when people aren't around for you with the compassion that you're seeking, you can't be upset about it because you're not opening up. So you're learning that, you're recognizing that. So I feel like a lot of you have done a good job of like balancing that out and opening it up through a lot of self-exploration here. So yeah, so this is a lot about like digging into the past, looking at the relationships in your life, the closest ones, how you're doing them, and how you're able to free yourself with the people that you love and that love you. And there's a lot of healing attached to that. Okay. Let me clarify this with a card from my Moon Oracle deck for this new moon reading, for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Promotion. I'm going to just read what it says in the book. Oh, it's funny. So this is a waxing air moon, and Aquarius is an air sign. So let's just real quick get that one. All right. Number 3. Okay. Oops. This is Earth, sorry. Just gotta find the right. Okay, promotion. As the moon reaches this phase in its cycle, there is more sunlight than shadow, and symbolically, whatever the subject of concern, more light will be shed on the matter now. It is a time for bringing things into the open, putting your cards on the table, or promoting your vision with enthusiasm. This is a time that calls out for the unconventional. Taking an unusual or even an eccentric approach will enhance the chances of your idea being successful. With the moon at this phase located in the sign of Libra, help will come at the right time. A partner will do all the necessary work to aid success in the development of the project. So for Aquarius, they're always working on projects, right? They're very innovative. So I feel like that's a twofold message for you. With the opening up will also help open up the projects that you've been looking for and partnerships that are coming in that you'll be more open to as you open yourself up. This feels pretty positive, Aquarius. So I hope that that made sense for you. And last but not least, Pisces. I'm going to do a reading for Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising. I'm going to use my Gilded Tarot deck for Pisces. Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising. Giver. I'm hearing the word giver. Either you're giving a whole heck of a lot in your relationships and you're feeling shortchanged, or you could be the ones that are kind of like taking for granted the ways in which people are giving, or a person in your life is giving to you. You'll know how this applies as we go along, so just take it with a grain of salt, but if it resonates, then you know what it is. Okay, Pisces. Pisces. Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising. Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising. Let's see what we got for you. Teamwork. Yeah, teamwork is the main theme here for you, Pisces. So a lot has been and is being centered right now for you around people that you work with. This could be, you have a lot of 3s, so I'm going to say this could be groups. This could be like the closest relationships in your life. Could be friendship circles, romantic. Could be all of them. But you've really recognized your strengths as a person, and perhaps you've recognized that you've been giving too much and not receiving as such, or you've been, not the one that's been giving as much as you've wanted to. but you're ready for new beginnings and you're ready to move forward. I also see new love here for a lot of Pisces. So if you're not in a relationship, or if you've just come out of something and you're not sure if something new is coming in, this is confirmation of a new beginning here for you, of a much more grounded and secure nature. But make sure that you don't fall back into old patterns with the giving and receiving, okay? So you want to look to that and make sure that you're not, you know, repeating things that have not worked out for you in the past, because you have been healing from some relationships and situations, and you don't want to go back into similar patterns. It's important for you. But yeah, so for those of you Pisces that have been out of a relationship for a little while, there is something new coming in. For some of you Pisces, if you feel like you've lost a friend and you've been sad about it, there will be a new one coming in. So there's like a lot of new here, but an emphasis on the balance and the nature of how you give and receive. It's very important, how you give and receive. So make sure that you're, you know, getting just as much as you're giving, and you're not giving to your detriment, right? Because Pisces is such a beautiful sign, but it can also be like a little bit of a martyr, where it's like, I give and I give and I give and no one gives to me. But then it's like, well, but you give when you, at your own detriment. No one's asking you to do that. You're doing it out of your own free will, and then you're complaining about it. But not everyone's hardwired the same way as you. So you've recognized that, and you're working through it. And that's going to help with all of your relationships going forward, Pisces. This is about recognizing the giving and receiving here. Teamwork is a big theme. Healing, new love, new relationships, new friendships. There's a lot of good here. There's a lot of new. I feel like you've come out of a time of like where there was some decay, where things had to die in your life, and now a lot is being reborn. Let me confirm that for you with a spirit message, Pisces. Let's see what spirit wants to tell you about, wants to say to you. Okay. New beginnings. Everything in life is constantly vibrating and moving, and therefore continuously changing and evolving. Be aware that a new beginning is on the horizon. Have courage and faith, because right now life is trying to nudge you forward and move you in a new direction. Okay, Pisces. So as a very emotional water sign, you're extremely impressionable and sensitive. You're definitely one of the more psychic signs of the zodiac. So you do feel, like, talk about energy and life vibrating. You feel that. You feel the vibrations of people and places and situations more so than any other sign, if you're tuned in to that. And so I know a lot of you are resonating with this, and you're like, yeah, I do feel like I'm on the precipice of change, because you are. It's beautiful. So just trust that, you know, if it's uncomfortable and it feels unsafe, and the way you're being nudged, just know that it's for the greater good, and there are new beginnings here that are taking place. And just maintain that level of teamwork and the giving and the receiving balance, and you will be great. All right. I think that is it. We've done all 12 signs. I hope that you have found something useful in your reading. If you would like a private consultation or to see more about my work, my website is lisasalvatore.com. The link is below, and I will be back with another reading for the next new moon, okay? Take good care, guys. Bye.